Welcome to Define You Radio, the place to be for real talk and real tips to help you define your personal and professional life. Class is in session with your host, the Southern Belle of Bold, Valencia Griffin Wallace. Pens and papers ready. Class is now in session.
Hey, kings and queens, and welcome to Define You Radio. I am your host, Valencia Griffin Wallace, and it is another solo great show with just me as we do our 2019 year-end reflections. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys get something from today's show, and it makes you really look at your entire year as a whole. Now, if you can hear it in my voice, I have been battling cold and flu season like a ninja. Some days I lose. So either way it go, we're going to go ahead and swag it out because this is one of the most important shows of the year. You cannot go forward in life without really looking at where you've been. You know the saying, hindsight is 2020. So let's get the hindsight out the way before we get into 2020. So go ahead and get your pens and papers ready. Class is now in session. So first of all, I want to give a couple of shout outs that for people that have been rolling with me this year. I know this year has been different from the other years where I really push myself to produce interviews every week. And if you guys kind of go back in the archives of Define You Radio, you will see since 2016, I've been constantly pushing out interviews and really working to deliver you guys the best content. Some of those interviews sucked. Some of those people sucked. As a producer, and you guys as the audience, you guys still hung in there, and I really appreciate it. And I am definitely looking forward to some of the changes in the podcast in 2020. So in order to see those changes, of course, you kind of got to stick around for that. As a whole, Define You Radio has been a way to visit and talk about topics that I like to talk about. But for the most part, I have kept it kind of PC in my own way. I didn't want to get off topic and into other lanes that other people were already talking about. But one of the things that I've realized is that in my 42 years, I have a whole lot of opinions. I have learned a lot, and I am still learning. So as we go forward, it's going to be a little bit more of that. So I don't want anyone thinking that you get to this age by sticking to certain rules or certain boxes or certain books or what have you. So I'm really looking forward to that part, which brings me to my first point. When I think about 2019, there is a quote, and of course I will post it. The quote basically says, taking care of yourself doesn't mean me first. It means me too. So 2019 was my me too year. Okay, so I don't want nobody to get it confused with the Me Too, it happened to me too movement. No, this is not that kind of party. Okay, but Me Too, like the number 2 or however you want to put it, is I could still put my family first because in my life, my family comes first. I could still prioritize certain things But in me prioritizing other things, I cannot forget to prioritize myself. And it's funny, as a mentor, and I'm pretty sure if a lot of coaches are honest, we give people advice that generally we don't always take ourselves. One of the things I always tell women is to, make time for you and everything and all of that kind of stuff. But I never really did it for me because I had a goal in mind. But we're going to kind of rewind back to that. So as far as 2019 being the year of Me Too, I learned how to really respect and set boundaries. So meaning, if I'm not going to take phone calls or text messages or emails or whatever on certain days and times because it's me time, I'm going to respect that. And when you do that, other people they're not going to always respect that, but you don't answer. Or you could shoot a text, hey, this is my day off. Many of my friends know that Sunday is pretty much my off day. And don't text me or call me at a certain time. So pay attention to the people that respect the boundaries that you set. But first, you need to set them. I have family time. And it's funny, some people will actually text me and say, I know it's your family day or whatever, but da-da-da-da-da. No, there's no but. And I won't respond. And actually, it pisses me off. That's one of the things I definitely learned in 2019. 2019 became more about Me Too. As far as taking care of me, and I want to give a shout out to Queen Lavon, who gifted me months ago a massage. And since then, I think it was like August, maybe July, give or take. And since then, I have a membership and I go every month. So one of my self-care days is going to get a massage. And recently I've added a facial because I'm telling you, ladies, as you get older, and men too, I'm pretty sure, but I have woman skin. So I only could tell you what's going on with my woman skin. You do need to exfoliate and get facials and those things. So part of 2019 being the year of Me Too is a facial and a massage. And on that day, I generally have nothing else planned. So every month I have 2 basically selfish Me Too days, whatever you want to call them, self-care days. That's just about me. And that's a period. Something else I started doing in 2019, whereas I loved getting my nails done and my eyelashes done and all of those things that had became part of who Valencia is, I love getting them done, but the process of getting them done got on my damn nerves. And ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You go to the nail shop, they're speaking a language that you don't understand. You're sitting there with people's kids running around and hollering, and 3 hours later, you finally walk out of there. Maybe it was just me because I was always getting my refills and my toes done every 2 weeks like clockwork. And I would get so aggravated. So this year, and I can't remember when, I stopped going to the nail shop and started doing my own nails because, number one, I got tired of the headache. Patience is not a virtue of mine. And even if it was, why do I have to be patient for something I am paying for? Like, that doesn't make sense. Even with getting my eyelashes done, I was getting them done at the nail shop. Then I moved on to getting extensions, which was like as bad as going to the nail shop because of the refills and all of that. And I learned how to put strips on and take better care of my eyelashes so that they look better. So like I said, this was the year of Me Too. And for some people that may not have been a big deal, but mind you, I have been pretty much getting my nails and toes done since 8th grade. I couldn't even put clear nail polish on my hands. But now I have dip and gel polish and a lamp and all of those things. I'm playing with different things, and I actually enjoy that time because it's a way of me taking downtime and being able to creatively express myself. And honestly, it was stress going to the nail shop. And it wasn't so much the people and all of that, but it was just wasted time. Just wasted time. And I would be aggravated. And let's not even talk about the money I was spending. Another thing is part of my year of Me Too was saying no. Period. And I have always been an advocate of saying no, but this year my no had meaning. This year I stopped considering stuff that didn't matter. If it didn't matter to me or my family, people I loved and cared about, then the answer was no. This year I have been invited to different parties, events, opportunities to be part of certain projects and everything else. And my response would pretty much just be no. No thanks. And that's pretty much it. I'm just saying, once you get to my age, it's like, what? It's a lot of stuff you just really don't feel like doing. And money isn't everything. And really, as a businesswoman, I'm going to weigh the cost anyway. So let's talk about my business no's. I have to weigh the cost of the aggravation of dealing with a particular project versus the money. Because if I could make that same amount of money with less aggravation, I'm going to do that. It's kind of like, let's say you work a $15 an hour job or whatever. Would you go make 15 at a place you're constantly being aggravated by customers, or go make that same 15 not having to deal with anybody, or maybe only having to deal with one customer at a time? I don't know what else to compare it to, but I really had to weigh that, and I'm going to get back into that later. Another thing with the year of Me Too, getting to know me better. And I maybe should have said reintroducing myself to me. It's a lot of things that just being caught up in business and life with the podcast and writing and speaking, it's a lot of things that I really couldn't do or really didn't do because it just didn't seem to fit. Like, I love to read. I always have. But when you get in a certain space, you think the only books you could read is self-help and business and branding and all of that other boring stuff. I don't want to say it's boring, but you only could read so much of that without going crazy and like wondering who you are, so to speak. So I got back to reading the kind of stuff that I like to write, and like to read, and always love to read. Currently I am reading, damn it, I'm gonna have to get the name of the book. I'm pulling it up. I got it on my Amazon Kindle, and if you guys have a Prime account, I don't know how it works, but sometimes they have free books that you could read. And I really had gotten a habit of doing a lot of audiobooks. Okay, so the book is One House Over, the Neighbors series, book 1 by Mary Moore. So yeah, that's the book that I am reading for free on my Kindle. And it is a very, very interesting book. And I don't know if you guys could hear my little psycho dog Benji playing with this toy in the background, but this is real life on my end. So yeah, so I'm getting back to enjoying those things that books that bring the passion out of me and my imagination go wild. So 2019 biggest lesson. One of the biggest lessons was it was the year of Me Too. Another big lesson in 2019 was to just do it myself and to trust me. Now, a lot of people will tell you, you need to learn how to delegate and do this, and this. No. That may work for some people, and eventually it may even work for me. However, everybody's work ethic and the excellence that they produce is not like mine. So I found myself in 2019 wasting a whole lot of time and money on things I should have just did myself in the first place. And I know some people may feel some kind of way about that, but at the end of the day, be your own plan B. Be your own plan B. I'm going to let y'all meditate on that. Because plan A, a lot of times we'll say, well, I'm going to get my girl so-and-so to do this and help me with that and everything else. And then you end up getting low quality work, or the person doesn't follow through with whatever. So if you learn nothing else from this show, that alone was worth the price of admission. Be your own plan B. You should always, and I think this is a Beyonce quote about betting on myself. That's why Beyonce works as hard as she does, or whoever else. Because that's the one thing I do admire about Beyonce and very few other people. You know, the work ethic. Everybody doesn't have it. Some people have work. Some people have ethic. Very few have work ethic. And some of y'all will get that. Also in the do it myself year. And these are different things I'm calling 2019. Go with your gut. If your little spidey sense or whatever is tingling and telling you you should do something or you shouldn't do something, pay attention. Pay attention. If you meet somebody, because I've had this happen quite a few times. If you meet somebody and they don't seem genuine, or if something about somebody just, I don't know, don't rub you right for whatever reason, stop trying to find the reason and just move on. Just move on. Don't do it. Don't work with that person. Don't exchange business cards, phone numbers. Don't Facebook friend them. None of that. But this doesn't just have to do with people or places. I'm always mindful if something in me tells me not to go somewhere. I'm mindful and I won't go. And then later I'll find out some foolery went down. So I'm glad I paid attention to myself. But another instance of that is when your gut tells you to do something. And a lot of you guys could relate to this one. You ever had the great idea of an invention and you never did anything with it because you made a lot of excuses. And then maybe a year later, you see the commercial for that thing you thought of in a less excellent way than you thought of it. Now I understand that, and that's a whole other topic. Maybe in 2020, we'll get somebody on that talks about that part. because, we all have a lot of ideas on a product. So we'll see. Y'all have to stay tuned for that one. Just a something to add to the year of do it myself. And this mainly has to do with business, but it also has to do with your personal life. If people don't care about their brand, if people don't care about their stuff, they're not going to care about yours. That's not just a business thing. If people don't take care of their house, or don't take care of their car, or don't take care of their kids, why would you think they're going to take care of yours, or care about your car, your house, your kids, your business, your brand, your podcast, whatever, your event? So that's something for you to think about. A lot of times we act shocked and appalled and surprised when somebody F's us over. But if you look at the way they handle their ish, you wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying. 2019 was also the year of keep business. Know the difference in the relationship. And the reason why I say this is a lot of you kings and queens have co-workers that you want to bring over to the personal side that may not always need to mix. Some co-workers or some people you meet in the business side needs to stay on the business side. And vice versa. Some people you meet on the personal side needs to stay on the personal side. Think about, just take a 30 seconds of reflection. How many coworkers have became friends and later became enemies? I'll wait. And how many friendships have ended because you chose to do business with that person? And when I say business, it could be something like you lend them money, which I don't believe in. I don't believe in that. But you guys just think about that. These are 2019 lessons. So another 2019 keep business lesson. Business is about passion and profit. And the reason why I put that is because I had to draw a line in the sand, and this kind of goes to the year of Me Too. That if it's not a project that I'm passionate about or that I will profit from, I'm not going to do it. It is not business. Period. And y'all need to think about that when you're, and this is from the business side. So for my business men and women, you know, all those phone calls that you take that lead nowhere and waste time, and you've given somebody basically all the goodies to get started and it costs you time. Yeah, you have to cut that out. You have to rework that whole part of your system that is wasting your time. Period. I know a lot of mentors, coaches, strategists, whatever title you want to put on them, that do consulting, 30-minute free consulting calls. I don't have that kind of time, nor do I desire to have that kind of time. But to each his own. To each his own. But I'm just saying that's a whole lot of wasted time for free. Just something for you to think about, especially if you're starting a business. Stop doing stuff for free that you should be getting paid for. This is another business, keep business 2019 lesson. I like doing graphics and creating different things. If I wasn't doing the podcast and speaking, I would definitely still be writing. I would be creating probably more coloring books and kids books and characters. At one point in time in my young life, I wanted to be a cartoonist, and I wanted to do comics and all of those things. I love that creative part of me. So because I've been doing these things, and this is a passion of mine since I was a young girl, I can easily create stuff to me that's simple. But you have to watch that. You have to watch when you're talented in a certain area, because you will end up doing stuff free that you should be getting paid for. Y'all meditate on that, because to everybody that will mean something different. But if you do makeup and you may not have a license to do makeup, but you're damn good at it, you shouldn't be doing it free. If you love kids and so you decide to babysit, you should not be doing it free. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling, a lot of people complain about being broke or having more streams of income, and you're costing yourself money because you're doing stuff free you should be getting paid for. If I do something free for myself or somebody I love, different story. And then it's still not free. The return is just different. So y'all think about that. When you're dealing with business, and even with your coworkers or whatever, you don't have to like each other. And a lot of times some people will spread this lie that you have to like people you do business with. No, you don't. You do not. Because I guarantee you, if I had to like everybody I did business with, I don't know how much business I would have done. Promise. Or as my sister-in-law says, facts. But there does have to be respect. You don't have to like your gossiping coworker with the baby's kids. You don't have to like her. But if y'all gonna work together and deal with each other, y'all should have some level of respect. So that was a 2019 keep business lesson. So I hope you guys have learned from that. Just to go over them real quick, my 2019 lessons, regrets, those things. So first of all, 2019 was the year of Me Too. It was also the year of Do It Myself. And it was the year of learning to keep business. Simply put. So those are some of my 2019 lessons. Next show, we're going to talk about 2020. How do you take your 2019 lessons to do better in 2020? So make sure you guys stay tuned and have your pens and papers ready for that show. Hopefully, I will have my full voice and all of that back 110%. But if not, that's okay. Y'all bear with me and just get the goods. Like they say, chew up the meat and spit out the bones. Yeah, that sounds good. So what did you learn from 2019? If you had to break down the good, bad, and ugly of 2019, what did you learn? Make sure you let us know on the Define You Radio's Facebook and IG pages, which you guys should be following, friends, what have you. We should be connected on social media. You could also find me at ValenciaGWallace.com and Valencia G. Wallace on all social media. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe, connect, and leave a review. And remember, your past doesn't define you. It gives you definition. And what you do with that is up to you. Pens and papers down. Class is officially over. Thank y'all so much for listening. It was a great show.
Thanks for listening to Define You Radio. Make sure you connect with the show at www.defineyouradio.com. Pens and papers down. Class dismissed.